Several accusations of inappropriate touching against former Vice President Joe Biden is raising questions of social norms and personal space. Eyewitness News reporter Addie Guajardo has this report.
Several women have come forward accusing former Vice President Joe Biden of touching that made them feel uncomfortable, prompting us to ask, when is your personal space being violated?
Sexual harassment really is bullying or coercion of a sexual nature, promise of achieving a higher position in exchange for sexual favors.
Attorney Juanita Prada says the law requires accusers to prove a level of severity and frequency.
It can't just be, an occasional hug. It can't just be a dirty joke that you heard once.
She says since the Me Too movement, her firm has seen a spike in allegations of sexual harassment.
On the one side, good, because women were finally empowered and felt that they could come out. Also seeing a lot of claims that just didn't reach the level of legally actionable. We were seeing, I would say, abuse of it as well.
With every new case, she says they cross-examine the accusations to determine legitimacy. Biden has yet to formally announce a presidential campaign, begging the question if these accusations have an impact on a possible presidential run.
He will lose some of the people that were thinking of voting for him, and they're strong women. Clearly, Kamala, Kirsten, and the senator from Minnesota as well. He just is a very affectionate guy, always has been, and I don't see it injuring him terribly.
Biden has issued a partial apology to the women making accusations against him. Prada says it's just best to avoid anything physical.
We say it to children, keep your hands to yourself. It should apply in the workplace as well.
Addie Guajardo, KENS 5, Eyewitness News.